you meet someone, you know, most of the time you're like, hi, yeah, yeah, and it might be at a party or something, or a wedding or something. There may be loads of people and you've got to meet them all. And it's very difficult to remember their names. But people love to hear their names because it means them, you know, and it means someone's paid attention to them and cares about them or thinks about them or respects them. It's really important. And so Darren Brown came up with a really, really good method, I think, for memorizing people's names. I can't remember faces very well either, so I'm really screwed. But his method was this. When you meet someone, introduce yourself with your name. So, hi, my name is Jake. And then when the other person says, hi, my name is Slim Shady, or whoever it may be.
You would remember that one for sure.
Yeah, there are certain names you probably would remember. But I mean, imagine had a really obscure name, when, you know, like a foreign sounding name that you might not have come across before. So you probably need to kind of think about mnemonic sort of devices, or, you know, a device that I used when I was learning Spanish, for example, which was a lot. I kind of used this without even understanding what I was doing. I would kind of use this sort of visualization. So I'd visualize certain words. An example would be the word for woman in Spanish, which is mujer. And to me, I would never remember mujer just on its own right, but I imagined someone with more hair, and women generally have more hair, at least on their head. So I thought more hair, and I imagined a woman. And then when I saw a woman, I thought mujer. And that's how I remembered a lot of words in Spanish, actually. Just using this, and I can't even remember half of them, but that was one of them. And so you could use that kind of thing to remember someone who had a really weird foreign sounding name. Perhaps you could break it into its component parts, but it would work otherwise in the same way. And this is that when you meet someone, you say, hi, my name is Jake. They say, well, you wouldn't say that. Obviously, you'd say, hi, my name is Tom. But you'd say your name, they say their name, and then you repeat their name back to them. So if they say, oh, my name's Simon, you say, Simon, and they say, yeah, Simon. And then you've heard the name now 3 times. One time you've said it, and twice they have said it. So now you've got repetition, and it's only a little bit of repetition. On its own, it wouldn't be enough, but it's better than just someone saying, hi, my name's Simon, and you're half paying attention. So now you're paying your full attention. And I must state at this point as well, it's really important in life to not try and multitask. You know, stick to one thing at a time and give it your full attention. And so when you meet someone, look them in the eye and give them your attention. You only have to give them attention for a few seconds. It's not like it's going to steal your life away, but it is really important to give them respect and show them, you know, that you've given them your attention. So you say, hi, my name's Simon. You say Simon, and they say, yeah, Simon. Now you've got Simon 3 times. And at that time, then what you do is just look at them while you're shaking their hand, look at them very, very quickly in the eye, and imagine somebody else, them doing an impression of someone else that you know whose name is Simon. So doing a silly impression. So if you know someone who's called Simon and, you know, they've got a particular characteristic, or they do something, or they say something, or whatever that may be a little bit weird, or they've got a catchphrase, or whatever it may be, just or they have a particular smile, or whatever it is, just imagine for that moment this person called Simon also pretending to be the Simon that you know. And the repetition and physically paying attention to someone for a moment, and then visualizing them pretending to be someone you already know with the same name, is a really, really good way of remembering names. And if you do that,
I hadn't actually heard that one before. I thought that you were going to go to the visualizing their face as a Darren Brown uses the Mike
Darren,
example.
Yeah.
So if you meet someone named Mike, you picture their nose as a microphone or whatever it was used.
Yeah, that's right. There are loads of different techniques, and he uses different ones as well. But this is the one. I mean, in the audio book that he's done, he mentions a few, but that was the one that I found worked best for me. And perhaps, you know, the mic thing, for example, picturing their nose as a microphone, might work best for you. But the other thing is as well, if you had someone with an unusual name, you can get them to spell it out for you. So, you know, nobody minds if they say their name and they've got an unusual name. So my name is Darren, and you say Darren, and they say, no, Darren. You say, how do you spell that? Is that D-E? And they go, yeah, D-E-R-R-E-N, or maybe it's just one R, I don't know. But and then now you've kind of visualized writing in your mind. You've put more attention on it, and you know. So this is another way. If you don't know anyone called Darren, but maybe you do know someone called Darren, then you could like imagine that it's Darren. He's pretending to be Darren, but crossing out the A and writing an E or whatever it may be. So I mean, these are the techniques, and I have to admit, when I first learned that one, I went out and used it a lot and had great success with it. And you could go around a room and you could remember people's names. And the funny thing is, English people in particular very rarely use names. I'm not kidding you when I say that I've worked in an office with people for months and months and months and never known their name. I don't know, I shouldn't really admit that, but I don't know if you could say the same, Tom.
Much worse than that.
Worse than that?
Yeah, far worse.
Go
on. Just people that I've met sort of over and over and over again, and you know, still refer to them as mate, or you know, just don't. I avoid using their name altogether because I never. I suppose it might be more of a I missed it the first time round, and therefore you've missed the boat. Then it's gone.
Yeah.
You know them well enough to know them, and you can't then say, oh, by the way, what's your name?
Yeah, it's awkward, isn't it? You know, it's like,
important.
You don't know my name. We've known each other for months.
What you were saying a minute ago, but you only need to pay attention for you know, a few seconds.
Yeah,
and after that.
But the other thing is, it makes a much better introduction, because you're looking them in the eye, you're showing them that you're confident and that you're paying special attention to them just for a moment. What was your name? I mean, they may be a horrible person, and you might think, yeah, I don't want to speak to this person again. But at the same time, they may be a really nice person. And I always think that you should treat everyone with, like, give them 100 points. You know, treat everyone as if they're a great person. And if they prove themselves to be otherwise, then, you know, well, you know, you don't want to spend more time with them.